Alright, woohoo! Ladies and gentlemen, we are officially live. We're live on the YouTubes. It's a Friday. Getting ready for the weekend. Tomorrow is my certification test for the state of Washington. I am nervous. Very, very nervous. I'm gonna try not to say the F word. I'm gonna try really hard not to say the F word because I found that if I say the F word in any video, my video gets demonetized. And words that I usually don't say the F word doesn't usually get demonetized. Just stupid, but that's just the way it goes. Just the way it goes. Tomorrow, 8 o'clock is my Washington certification test for the state of Washington. And I am so nervous. I haven't been this nervous in something. I'm not somebody who normally gets nervous to do shit. So, I guess we'll find out how if I pass tomorrow. The thing that I don't like about it is like if I fail in any way because they're really strict. If I fail in any, if it's above 1/8 inch, if it has undercut, if it cracks, if it has inclusion, I fail, and then I'm out almost $250, $300. So, and then I have to wait 2 weeks before I can take it again. So it's my MIG welding test for my certification for MIG. And then after I do MIG, I'm gonna go into dual shield. After I do dual shield, I'm gonna go into TIG. After I do TIG, I'm going to do stick. But anyways, how you guys doing this Friday? How you guys doing? How many of you? I'm reading the chat right now. This is a very interactive stream today. How many of you guys saw The Last Jedi? In the chat right now. I've got 90 viewers. How many of you, 90 people watching right now, have seen Star Wars The Last Jedi? The Last Jedi hurt me. I saw it. I saw it. It sucked. You haven't seen it, don't spoil it. Well, if I'm sorry, we're gonna be discussing Star Wars today. We're gonna talk about Star Wars, and I'm gonna go into some more detail in depth because my review is actually doing really good. I almost have 4,000 likes on my review of Star Wars: The Last Jedi, and I know I'm not the only one. The rating on Rotten Tomatoes and Internet Movie Database, it's going down. People are not happy with this film, and I know I'm not the only one. So that makes me so much more confident in the way that I feel. It was a horrible movie. I've never watched Star Wars. It sucked dick. It was a sham. I saw it, the ending. Yeah, see, the majority of the chat even agrees. The movie was not that good. I can understand, as a casual moviegoer, somebody who just casually see movies, I can really see why you wouldn't see anything wrong with it, but, where to even begin? You're officially done with Star Wars. I'm glad I'm not done with Star Wars. I'm done with the new trilogy. I'm done with Episode 9. That's what I can say for sure. I have no interest in it.
Yes, Daddy. Let's hope to the God that doesn't exist that Disney doesn't rape Deadpool. Confused face.
Thank you, HiPod, for the $10 donation. You're awesome. Love you, dude. Like your name, too. Thing about Deadpool is, now that Disney has Fox, Disney has already came out and said that they're not going to remove the R rating for Deadpool. Like the CEO, one of the CEOs of Top Disney said that because I guess Deadpool is successful, and Deadpool has been one of the most successful R-rated movies of all time. And Disney, and I'm glad that Disney's making that decision. Disney's weird. They have a bunch of different departments all split in different things. I don't think... the movie Logan was phenomenal. It's one of the best Wolverine movies made. I love Logan. Logan is probably one of my top films of 2017. Logan, the new Blade Runner. God, what else did I see this year? I think I saw Pirates of the Caribbean. That was absolute trash. I watched that one. You're not going to watch the Episode 9 either? Huh? Oh, right. For those of you who don't know, I am currently suspended on Twitter right now. Well, I should say locked out. I guess if you get more than one lockout, then you get suspended. I guess you get like a 3-strike rule or something. I can't like anything on Twitter. I can't reply to anything on Twitter. I can't do anything on Twitter right now. Because supposedly I made threats of violence. Guys, I made threats of violence on Twitter all because I called somebody a cunt. So I said the C word. C word is... Don't say the C word, I guess. I don't know. It was like a tweet from 3 months ago, which is just weird to me. I don't understand it. But it's classified as I was threatening this person, which I was not, for saying the C word, so. Don't say the C word, ladies and gents. Twitter is not a fun place. I'm in Twitter jail right now. It's horrible. Like, as I was replying to somebody on Twitter, I was quote tweeting and I was responding to it, and as I pressed the tweet button, I get this. My screen pops up. It's like, you have been locked out of your account for violating Twitter's terms of service by threatening violence. And it was a tweet made by. It was a tweet that I made. I don't know if you guys even know this person. I can't stand her. She's I almost said the F word. I'm trying not to say the F word because this video will be demonetized. She is a fucking attention little whore. Big attention little fucking bitch. I hate her. Goes by the name of Emma the Adorable, I think is her name. Can't stand her. She's fairly, there's a lot of evidence about her. She made she got one of her boyfriends arrested for false allegations of abuse. So that just puts in perspective the type of person she is. Yeah, I'm assuming it was her and her little posse that because they sit on Discord and they dox people and they release personal information of others. So, Hunter Willis, $5. Do you think Episode 3 was better? I actually love Star Wars Episode 3. I'm gonna be honest. Episode 3, I think, is one of the strongest of the prequels. There's smaller little things that I think that were fundamentally problemed. There are fundamental problems with Episode 3.
Don't mind me. Just wanted to throw some money in your general direction. How's the coffee I sent you? Greetings, Alex.
Thank you, Beanie, for the $13 donation. And thank you, Blazing Delivery, for the $10 donation. Thank you so much for the Death Coffee. I don't know if you saw it on Snapchat, but I tweeted it out on Twitter, and I put your package that you sent me of the Death Wish coffee. I appreciate it. I've actually been drinking it almost every day because I have been staying up super, super late. Fuck, what was I saying? I said the F word! Oh no! Demonetize! Crap! Oh! Come on, YouTube, don't demonetize this stream. What was I saying? I may have to next time I stream, I may have to turn the auto voice off, because it really distracts me when I'm talking. When I'm talking, then the Australian chick pops up. Oh, Episode 3. One of the biggest things I didn't like about Episode 3 is I thought General Grievous could have been done better. I didn't like how General Grievous went out. I think General Grievous is an incredible character, and if you've ever seen the animated Clone Wars, guys, I don't know how. Have you guys seen the animated, like not CGI, not the CGI Clone Wars, not the Star Wars Rebels, but like the actual animated DVD Clone Wars? It is absolutely incredible. It is like one of the coolest cartoons. They didn't even finish it because it got canceled. It's so good. Like, if you look it up, General Grievous is such a badass. And he kills Jedi, like, just left and right. And just the overall character of General Grievous, even in the comics, the books, and in the Clone Wars series, is phenomenal. He's so cool. And the way he died in Episode 3 was really crappy. But I love Episode 3. It's... I think there's probably more memes in Star Wars Episode 3 than Episode 2. But I loved Episode 3. I did. I think it's one of my top probably 4 Star Wars movies, actually. I think the Clone Wars was definitely the worst of the prequels. I don't like sand. There's so many memes. I love Star Wars memes. Star Wars memes is one of my favorite thing. So, by the way, if you guys tweet me or anything like that, I can't reply to you until, like, tomorrow. Because I'm locked out for, like, 12 hours or something like that. Do you think Episode 2 is better than Episode 8? I think Episode 2 has a lot more lore and, like, Star Warsy than Episode 8. I'm gonna talk about I need to rant a little bit more in depth about Episode 8. This is this is a live stream after all. So if you don't want to know any spoilers, you might want to click off of this now. One of the things I was really bored with Episode 8. Really, really bored with Episode 8. I'm not hating on this movie because I want to be different. I'm not disliking the movie to stand out and like, oh, look at me, I don't like this. I'm a real Star Wars fan. That's not me. I love Star Wars. Star Wars has been an important, critical part of my life for years. I grew up watching the VHS tapes. I watched the VHS tapes every single week, the original trilogy, till the tapes wore out. That's how much I love Star Wars. I would do it every single goddamn week. Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. I don't dislike my hatred towards the film doesn't have to do with my vision of what I wanted to happen, because I didn't know what was going to happen in this movie. I had no idea. I didn't have this set standard for what I expected Luke to be. Well, I kind of did. But I wasn't super picky, like, this is what needs to happen. I went into this film very open, and I walked out of this film very closed off from the franchise. And I don't like saying that I was bored at all about it, but I think like the whole, it's boring because let's be honest, sit back and think. Almost the whole movie is them following the goddamn ship. The resistance in this is in the ship. They're just following it around, you know? Let's follow a ship for almost the whole movie. And then she gets the purple-haired lady gets the bright idea. Hey, let's use our ship. Let's go into hyperspace and jam into the ship and slice it in half. Why didn't they do that in the first place? Like, they could have done that 20, 30 minutes into the movie. But no, they saved that to like the very end. Like, that's just a weird thought process to me. If they can do that, why didn't they do it earlier? Why couldn't they just got on the transports and done the exact same thing that they were already doing? It didn't need to be prolonged. My first gripe with this film, along with the long let's follow a ship for the whole movie, is I hate the scene with Princess Leia. She gets blasted out of her cockpit, she floats in the sky, and she has ice all over her body. And what happens? She starts to twitch. Her eyes open. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Bum bum bum. We get a Super Leia, which doesn't make any freaking sense. Like, no, I understand that Leia has a Force connection. I get it, Leia. I understand she's the sister of Luke Skywalker. But no. You don't get hit with a TIE fighter missile blown out of a cockpit, Admiral Akbar and everybody else dies and flies out and is destroyed, and then she's frozen with ice over her body, and then she just flies with her magical Force shield, or whatever the hell, I don't even know, honestly. Nothing's even explained in that. Which, if they explained that more, I would have a little bit more leniency. But even still, if she had a Force shield around her to begin with, why the hell was she cold and frozen? Right? It was such a stupid scene! At that point, I was like, oh my god, what is happening right now? What is happening? Another thing, am I the only one who doesn't like Poe Dameron? I didn't mind Poe Dameron in Episode 7. And here's the thing, you have to understand, guys, I liked Star Wars Episode 7, but I hate Star Wars The Last Jedi. There are people saying that I'm just hating The Last Jedi because I hated Force Awakens. That's not true. I like The Force Awakens, but I hate The Last Jedi. People are trying to put, like, standards on me on what they think on why I dislike the movie, and it boils down to Star Wars Episode 8 is a pilation of a bunch of things that boiled up. One of the biggest gripes is how they deal with Luke, obviously, but everything else just stacked upon it and made it a horrible film for me. Another thing I hated was the Force. There's a lot of forced humor in this, and I don't like forced humor in anything, really. I'm not a fan of forced humor. It didn't fit in a lot of places. So there's a particular scene where Kylo Ren and Rey, right, are connected through the Force, and they're talking with one another, and it's a serious conversation. I was really, like, interested in listening to it. And then all of a sudden, right, Rey, in this serious conversation, says, put a shirt on. Could you put a shirt on, please? Put a shirt on. I don't know if it was an attempt to be funny, if it was an attempt to be whatever it was, but it just didn't fit any of the dialogue. Like, you're having a serious conversation and having a forced connection with somebody, and you're like, put a shirt on. What? Put a shirt on? Really? What? No. Maybe if Kylo Ren didn't have any pants and he had, like, a big like, fucking 10-inch cock hanging out, and, you know, he was envisioning and Rey was seeing him with his cock hanging out, I could understand Rey saying, you know, put some pants on or something like that. But it's a shirt. Come on. It's a shirt. That just, like, it took me out of the seriousness of the scene when that happened. I need coffee. Sorry. EA purposely gave EA exclusive game rights to Goodbye Star Wars games every year. Oh, do not even get me started, you little piece of shit. You want to hear my rant on Star Wars Battlefront 2? The multiplayer is fun. I like the multiplayer. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is one of the cheapest lies I have seen from a game company for quite a long time. You want to know why Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a fucking... Sorry. Is a lie? You want to know why Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a lie? They sold this game as this story campaign. Star Wars Battlefront 2. We're gonna make a Star Wars campaign. We're gonna make a game where you get to play as Inferno Squad, which is, there's also an Inferno Squad book. Read the book, like the book. Inferno Squad, Battlefront 2 campaign. You get to play as this awesome badass lady. What happens when the Death Star blows up at the end of the Return of the Jedi? What happens to Inferno Squad? Well, and I was like, this is a really fascinating idea. Like, the story concept bought me. I purchased the game because of them selling the point of you get to play as the Empire, something we've never really done before, right? 3 missions in, I kid you not, 3 missions in to Star Wars Battlefront 2, you, the main girl, main grill as Inferno Squad, you join the Rebel Alliance. I was livid. In fact, I didn't even finish playing the campaign. What I did is I looked up the campaign cutscenes, watched it, and said this is a pile of shit. And it is. It is. I couldn't believe it. Like, the whole advertising thing about Star Wars Battlefront 2 was to join the Empire and be on the Empire's side after what happens to the Death Star, after the Emperor is destroyed. And they just take a big old giant poo and go... I was so disappointed with that. Why can't we have a good Star Wars game? Why? You shut down Star Wars 1313! You're gonna play as a bounty hunter, going down to the very depths and the evil and the dark areas of Coruscant, where the drug lords are supreme and reign all high. The concept of 1313, the bottom pit of Coruscant, being the depths of literal, like, crime smuggling hell, was one of the coolest concepts that ever been introduced. And then they released that whole trailer at E3 of, like, an Uncharted Star Wars game where he's running around and flying on ships and making fucking, and shooting things and rolling and jumping on objects and, Why did you shut down Star Wars 1313? Why? It was everything we wanted. We just wanted a cool Star Wars game for once. Jesus Christ. There's so much stuff that they could explore with 1313. Everybody wants to play as a bounty hunter. What was the game that came out for PS2? It was Jango Fett. It was a Jango Fett. It came out for PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. Was it Bounty Hunter War? No, it wasn't Bounty Hunter Wars. You played as Jango Fett. That was like that game was so much fun. It came out around when the Attack of the Clones came out. I'm trying to remember. It was something with Jango Fett. What's 1313? 1313, well, the idea of 1313 is, so Coruscant, the planet of Coruscant has, it's called, the game was literally Bounty Hunter. Okay, yeah, Bounty Hunter, really good game. If you've never played for PlayStation 2, GameCube, Xbox, I highly recommend it. Get an emulator, play Bounty Hunter. It was really good. 1313 is basic, so the planet of Coruscant has levels, right? Because the planet of Coruscant is primarily like a city. And there's thousands of levels on Coruscant. So every level is like its own individual city, which is cool. I love the planet lore of Star Wars. Personally, I think it's better than the planet lore of Star Trek, but that's just me. 1313 is like the very bottom of Coruscant, which is where like the drug lords, all the gambling, all the black market, the Black Sun, everything on Coruscant that's like criminal-esque and evil, bad, happens at 1313. And 1313 was going to take place, you were a bounty hunter, I don't really know the context, you're a bounty hunter and you're down at Coruscant's darkest level, basically. Nobody knew what was going to happen, but EA shut that game down. And did Disney shut it down or did EA shut it down? I don't remember. And it people were outraged, and I don't blame people for being outraged for that. I really don't. 13 being shut down, I think was a disgrace. Because we hardly get any Star Wars games. We don't get very many Star Wars games. People want Star Wars games. Star Wars games are popular. You know, it's true, when you put the Star Wars logo on something, people are gonna buy it. Which always isn't the best decision, because you go to the grocery store, see a bag of grapes, and it says Star Wars, and you're like, I gotta buy those bags of grapes and oranges and apples because there's a Star Wars logo on it. Those are Star Wars grapes, guys. That's a Star Wars orange. That's a Star Wars apple. As it rots, just like any other apple. I miss KOTOR. Oh, I do too. I played Knights of the Old Republic, the MMO, for a while. I played it for like a year, and then they made the game free to play, and then I quit. But anyways, let's go back to The Force Awakens, because that's not Force Awakens, The Last Jedi. So we've established Super Leia, horrible scene in the movie. We've established the whole chase in a ship. We've established the using hyperspeed to cut a ship in half. Really cool scene. Why didn't they do that earlier? Don't know. The next thing I hated was... Did I ever play Star Wars Galaxies? Yes, I did. The next thing I hated was the plot, the story arc between Rose and Finn. Rose and Finn. What was the point of a short, midget, fat Asian girl kissing Finn and falling in love with Finn? It was completely, utterly meaningless. If they had made that whole sub-story plot better, I could definitely say I could have a higher opinion of the film. I would have a higher opinion of the film, guaranteed. Even what they would do with Luke, I would have a higher opinion, just because of how bad this whole scene is. So they need to get onto the ship because they're tracking them through hyperspace, and Finn and this Asian chick named Rose have to go to this planet, find this slicer dude who can hack into the Imperial codes, and then it turns into a PETA save plot. Let's just save all the animals. Literally, that's what they do. They save these animals on the planet for whatever reason. Let's just save animals, guys. Ha 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 ha. Finn and Rose to the rescue. Let's save the animals. Woohoo! Like, that was an extra 30 minutes that was completely, utterly meaningless and pointless and served no absolute purpose to anything. Absolutely nothing. It was stupid. I felt like I was watching the scene of when Jar Jar Binks was introduced again. It's like completely not relevant, doesn't do anything, doesn't strengthen anything. Just, serves no purpose to anything. I hated it. It served, I'm just repeating myself. It served no purpose. I've said that enough. I hated it. And especially the fact that Rose and Finn, like, she crashes into a ship near the end of the movie and she opens this like, well, what does she say? I'm trying to remember what she says. Something about being a hero, and then she just kisses him on the middle of the battlefield. Like, all the guys they're being attacked right now, and the last thing that you care about is, like, kissing a guy in the battlefield right when you're next to the enemy. That's appropriate. Dumbass bitch. Rose didn't need to be in there. Rose was stupid. Next thing, Phasma. So the directors and producers said that Captain Phasma was going to have a crucial part in this movie. What crucial part did Captain Phasma have in this movie? What was the point of Captain Phasma? She had about the same screen time, almost the same screen time as in The Force Awakens. She served no purpose. Cool character. A minute fight scene, and then she just gets hit in the head, and like, the floor collapses underneath her, and she dies. Captain Phasma. Yeah, what a meaningful character that had substance, and you just kill him off. Kill her off for no particular reason. I didn't. What's the point of her? I don't like directors and producers telling me that a character is going to have a crucial part in the movie, but doesn't have a crucial part in the movie. Stop lying to the fucking audience. I've said the F word again. I've said the F word 3 times. This video is going to be demonetized. I'm sorry. I've tried not to say the F word, but it's just coming out naturally. Ugh! I'm looking at the chat now. Phasma was there to sell toys. Phasma was there to have the shit kicked out of her. Phasma was useless. Yeah, I agree. I'm glad people feel the same way. So Phasma was just no point of her. Unimpressed. Fight scene was too short. Didn't do anything. Porgs. Let's talk about Porgs. I bought a Porg. Porgs are cute. But the only reason Porgs were created was the sole purpose for advertising. They created Porgs to sell money. That is it. Porgs are not unique to the Star Wars universe. They're not trying to... Where's the toy? Where's that toy with where Luke goes up to that creature with the big old fucking Sorry. Luke goes up to that creature with the big old nipples hanging out, right? And, like, milks that creature with the nipples. Where's that toy figure? Huh? Why haven't they made that? Whatever creature that is with the big old nipples and Luke's milking him, that dino thing. Where's that toy? I'd love to get an erect nippled beast that Luke drinks milk out of as a toy. That's what I'd like. Why didn't they make that a toy? No, because they make that little Porg super duper cute, and he's only in the thing. Porgs are only in it for like 3 scenes, I think, at most. And guess what? Porgs are everywhere. Porg this, Porg that, Porg this. Money, man. Money. One of the biggest things about See, this is the difference between Star Wars in the original trilogy and even the prequels. The prequels and the original trilogy compared to now. Disney bought Star Wars, not to recreate the universe. Disney bought Star Wars so that they can sell merchandise and they can make millions upon millions of dollars creating Star Wars toys. Because Disney's all about marketing and making as much money as possible. One of the biggest toy markets in the world is Star Wars memorabilia. Star Wars collectibles. Star Wars everything. Now, I'm a victim of Star Wars collectibles, buying stuff Star Wars. I'll fully acknowledge that. But back when, like, the original trilogy, there was a very limited run of Star Wars toys. There's a reason why Star Wars toys from the 1980s are so goddamn expensive now, and they cost hundreds if not thousands of dollars, because back then, it wasn't about toys. And this new generation of children that were, kids being born in 2000, they all want materialistic things, which not to say isn't necessarily a bad thing. But it's a very materialistic world that we live in, and because that's what sells toys and things and items, Disney knows that by using Star Wars as an advertising ploy to increase their marketing sales through everything. So therefore, Porgs were created not for the sole purpose of being imaginative or creative, they're doing it for the sole purpose of money. Because they know people will eat that shit up. And guess what? I ate that shit up. I have a Porg in my fucking bedroom. Woohoo! I felt guilty to it because I bought a Porg before I saw the movie. Now, if I saw the movie, I would not have bought the Porg. Maybe I should just give my Porg to my dog, and my dog can rip its head off. That's what I should do. But that's what I think. That's what I think. Disney wanted Star Wars not to recreate the universe, but to sell and make a ton of money because it has the Star Wars logo on it. And I'm a Star Wars fan. I'm not going to give into this crap that just because it has a Star Wars logo, it's automatically good. Because that is beyond, that's crazy fanism. That's crazy. That's crazy Star Wars is. If you're like everything that has a Star Wars logo on it is good, then you're dumb. You're not somebody who can sit back and look at things analytically and say, you know what, this actually may be a problem. This may not be as good as and that's what I thought about Rogue One. So when I saw Rogue One, I loved the movie. Like, I loved Rogue One. Now, a month after I reviewed that movie, I'm going to admit this, my opinion on that film has changed. I liked Rogue One, I still do, but it's nowhere near what my original thought process was of what Rogue One was. The acting in Rogue One I thought was atrocious. Now that I think back about it and I look at it, I love the story arc. The story arc of using Rogue One to match up to the New Hope I thought was brilliant. And I thought it was executed well. But overall, it was a meh. It was a meh movie. It was enjoyable, fun. I liked it, but it wasn't amazing like I originally thought. I definitely like Rogue One a lot more than The Last Jedi in every possible way.
I could definitely see you as Sith in a Star Wars movie.
Thank you, Beanie, for the $13 donation. Thank you. I agree too. I used to have my bio as Sith Lord because okay, let's dive into Luke now. So I'm a villains guy. In the universe of Star Wars, I've always liked villains. I've always liked bad guys. I've always liked the dark side. Sith rule. I'm Sith. I'm the Empire. Always. Always, always, always. No exception. However, Luke Skywalker is the only character that really I absolutely love who's a good guy. There's lots of characters in Star Wars like Kit Fisto, Mace Windu that I like and things like that. But Luke Skywalker is like the #1 good character that I like, who's a good guy. Because I'm one of those people. I like villains. I always like villains. Villains are cooler. They got cooler suits. They got cooler looks. They got cooler powers. They got cooler ships. They got cooler bodies. They got cooler everything. Being bad is motherfucking cool. I love it, especially in Star Wars. Come on, like the Jedi are lame. They can't match with the cool technology and cool everything of. Anyway, I'm getting off a point. What was I saying? Oh, so I didn't know what to expect with Luke Skywalker's character. I think Mark Hamill did a great performance as Luke, but at the end of the day, I can't grasp. Here's a question I have for you guys, right? This is my question for you guys watching this stream right now. And after this stream goes up live on my channel, because I'm going to put this live, I want you to leave comments below, and I want you guys to discuss this. Luke used Force projection, right? The end scene of The Last Jedi uses his Force projection to confront Kylo Ren. Force projection is a real thing. It's in Star Wars lore. The problem that confuses me is that right before that scene, Luke walks in, has a very beautiful moment, reuniting with Princess Leia. He pulls out his little necklace, right? I think that was Han Solo's necklace. I don't remember what it was from. He pulls out the little necklace and hands Leia the necklace. Now, Force projections can't do that. Now, a Force projection is not the same thing as a spirit ghost, okay? Understand that. It's not the same thing. How did Luke, as a Force projection, physically hold an object? Because everything I know about Star Wars has never allowed that. A Force projection is projection. You touch it, you try to hit it, whatever, it goes right through. It's a projection. That's the whole idea of what a projection is.
I am your father.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
Yo Dude was introduced to your channel when you first reacted to Disney buying Star Wars. Looking back on that video, do you feel Disney have completely ruined Star Wars as you predicted, or do you feel they have done some good with the IP?
Mr. Johnson, thank you so much for your $15 donation. Funny that you mentioned that. So I have a video on my channel when Disney bought Star Wars. Disney bought Star Wars. I made a video very critical of Disney. I was really upset. I was really mad that Disney bought Star Wars, and I said that it was going to be a disgrace. Well, at this current moment in where Star Wars is at now, I agree with what my original video, that Star Wars is a disgrace. At least Episode 8 is. Rian Johnson's supposedly going to make a new trilogy. Have no idea what that's going to be. I don't like Rian Johnson off of this. I liked Rian Johnson's his film Looper. But anyway, going back to what I'm getting off topic. Yes, the whole necklace scene. How does that work? A projection, he's giving Leia a physical item, and he's a Force projection. Doesn't work that way. I was very confused by that. And I didn't like it at all. I think that I think what would have been better executed, and this is somebody, I don't know where Episode 9's going. I think it would have been better executed to have Luke descend or ascend in Episode 9. I think his ascension should have been more meaningful than it was. I feel that way. Because I feel like the ascension didn't really, all he did was delay so the First Order could, not First Order, so the Resistance could get away and Rey could save the day. Now, in the Force Awakens, I was completely against Rey being a Mary Sue trope. But now, in The Last Jedi, I feel that Rey is a Mary Sue trope. Because Yoda comes back, talks to fucking Luke, and basically says, Rey is ready. Rey is ready? How is Rey ready? How is Rey so powerful? How the hell does she know all these things about the Force? How is she able to combat and know all these things so fast? Faster than any person. Because supposedly, when you're a Force wielder, when you're learning about the Force, you learn that stuff when you're young and a child. Okay? That's when you're most prone and you're Force sensitive to learn. Anakin, when he was adopted from the pod racing place, he was very young. He was almost too old to even to go into the Jedi training. And Rey here is an adult, knows that, like, is already powerful, is incredible at combat, can tap into the Force and do things that other people wouldn't normally be able to do, especially at her age. Right? So, like, Yoda came in and, you know, fluffed up little Rey. Rey's ready, Luke. Rey's ready. No, she's not. She's useless. She's not. I don't care about her anymore. I cared about her in the first movie, not the second one. Not at all. Do you guys see what I'm saying here? Like, I don't think I'm being unfair with asking these types of questions. And these questions are ultimately what makes me annoyed. and frustrated and hate the film. Better yet, question, is there anything left to tell for episode 9? There's no big story, just action pieces of the Marvel tier dialogues. I don't know. I don't know how episode 9 will even progress, because episode 8 left with no progression. Poe Dameron's the same person. He's an egotistical dumbass. I can't stand that character. Finn is like, I don't know what's the point of Finn? What I was hoping that they would do is, because this is what I was hoping. I was hoping they were going to take Finn, right? And because he got his back sliced up by Kylo, I was hoping that he would get like a robotic, cybernetic arm or a cybernetic spine, because he got sliced in the back by Kylo in episode 7. I was hoping that they would make him really Finn cool, like make him like human, but now he has like a cybernetic half body or something that makes him more powerful. I was hoping that's what they were gonna do, but Finn is just a useless character. I don't even know why he's in there anymore. He didn't do anything for this film, except kiss. Token black guy. He's in there for diversity. Who knows? I wish the confrontation between him and Phasma could have been a lot better executed. It was pure trash to me. I mean, he didn't even kill her. He just hit her in the face, has a cracked mask, and she just falls to her death. Like, how cliche is that? I'm tired of cliches in stuff, okay? Can we have something a little bit different? Cliches are annoying. I can only deal with so much of it. I think if they had killed anybody, they should have killed off Poe. Why not kill off Poe? Why not kill off Finn or something? Oh, they can't kill off Finn because he's black. Racist! Racist! Last Jedi or The Phantom Menace? Phantom Menace all the way. Honest to God. Honest to God. I would prefer to watch The Phantom Menace over The Last Jedi again. I'm going to watch The Last Jedi again when it comes out on Blu-ray, and I'm going to dissect it. I'm going to go through each scene, and I'm going to upload a video on this channel dissecting the entire movie clip by clip. If it gets copyrighted, I don't care. I'll put it on Vimeo. I'll put it everywhere I possibly can. Because I'm gonna make, I think, one of the best videos I've ever made on Star Wars, and I'm going to analyze and dissect this movie on why it is wrong on every single possible level. So I have a good amount of time to analyze and think about this until it's out. Daniel, what did you like about Kylo Ren in this film? Because this denounces the fact that he is a pussy. I think Kylo Ren's character progressed. I personally found that. I think Kylo Ren was a lot less emo in this movie than the last one. Rep, a Red Letter Media breakdown. Yeah, I guess you could compare that. I haven't actually looked. Has Red Letter Media talked about Star Wars yet? Episode 8. I haven't seen anything by them. I wonder how they feel about this. Here's the thing. I did not want Star Wars Episode 8 to be an exact copy and paste of The Empire Strikes Back. People are saying, well, you're hating it because it's not like Empire Strikes Back. No, I'm not. I'm not hating it because it's not like Empire Strikes Back. I'm hating on it because it doesn't reflect accurately, and there's problems, story holes, and plot holes, and forced dialogue, and characters that are killed off meaningless, and ultimately, I feel like nothing means anything in the movie. That's how I feel. How I feel doesn't make it right, doesn't make my review accurate. I know everybody's not going to think the same way that I do, but that's how I feel. Felt like it was a waste of time, waste of so much potential to make something very, very great. The trailer, man, talk about a deceptive trailer. The Last Jedi trailer got me so pumped. And it was tricky, because they used dialogue in the actual movie. They used dialogue and put it over certain sequences to really screw with your mind. But at the end of the day, what screwed with my mind was the plot holes, the stupid character arcs, the killing off characters that don't mean anything. Disney hurt your fifis. It's not about hurting my fifis. My fifis are not hurt. I just feel like it's a disgrace to Star Wars. And I haven't really seen any really justification, or I should say I haven't seen really any good defenses of the things that I have brought up. Especially the whole plot with Finn and Rose and Save the Animals, little, you know, Superman, Leia, Phasma being a wasted character, Snoke being a wasted character. Have I talked about Snoke yet? I don't think I have. Did I talk about Snoke yet? I don't think I have. Why do I care so much? Bitrick, I care a lot because I love Star Wars. That's why I care, because I love Star Wars. And I don't want to see Star Wars watered down for a younger generation of people to not mean anything. Andy Serkis said that Snoke is more powerful than Palpatine. I don't know anything about Snoke. What do you want me to talk about Snoke? He has a cool dialogue. He can use the Force. He has electricity, just like Palpatine. But we have no origin. We have no meaning of who he is, why he is in... How did he get in control of the First Order? Why is he in the control of the First Order? Why does he want Skywalker? Why does he want Rey? Nothing's really explained by that, right? Now, some people say that Emperor Palpatine, or Emperor in the original trilogy is useless. No, he's not. Because the prequels go back and explain everything. Palpatine has a very crucial role in the Star Wars universe, okay? He killed Plagueis the Wise, all right? He killed his own apprentice, and there's so much in the prequels that leads up to Palpatine and why he created the Galactic Empire, for God's sake, okay? Palpatine did. Palpatine got Anakin to switch to the dark side and was covering himself up from being a Sith Lord under the Jedi. Like, oh my gosh, Palpatine's incredible if you think about it. If you actually watch the prequels and watch the trilogy on how it all ties together, Palpatine is very well executed, in my opinion. I think he is anyway. Especially that scene when Anakin and Palpatine are sitting in that, what was that? I'm trying to think, that ballroom where everything's talking, and he's talking about Plagueis the Wise and how death, you know, how you can save the ones you love through the act of bringing them back to life through the dead. I love that scene in episode 3. I love that scene. It was like some opera thing in episode 3. Like all these like glass things moving around. I love that scene. That was so meaningful. And then there's another scene in episode 3 that I love, where Padme and Anakin are in like opposite buildings, and it has that really dramatic John Williams effect, and they're both crying. He's crying, she's crying, and it shows like the tension that they're of Anakin and Padme. I love that scene too. It's so good. There's so many amazing scenes in Star Wars Episode 3, I think. And there's some really bad scenes too, but yeah, what's the point of Snoke? You know what annoyed me with that? Is like Snoke is there saying, "My apprentice I know every thought process that goes through my apprentice's head. I know what's truly in his heart. I know everything about Kylo Ren." And then right as he says that, lightsaber through the gut, falls over dead. Woohoo! Now the battle scene in the throne room against the royal guards, I gotta admit, that's a cool scene. I love the fact they have lightsaber whips are canon now. That was so cool. That was really cool. I love the fight between Kylo, royal guards. Awesome. Don't make useless characters in Star Wars, please. I mean, if you do, make them useless. Don't make them seem like they're somehow pivotal to the actual story arc of Star Wars. Have I seen the Clone Wars, and what do you think of Darth Maul on the show? I have seen all the Clone Wars, yes. I'm gonna be honest, bringing Darth Maul back with, like, robotic legs, I thought that was really dumb. It's whatever. They've made some dumb decisions in this series, but it's whatever. I gotta accept it. That's just what they're doing. I do like Darth Maul, though. Darth Maul eventually does get killed by Obi-Wan Kenobi, though, in the Clone Wars. No, not the Clone Wars, Star Wars Rebels, excuse me. Have you guys seen Star Wars Rebels? The last season of Star Wars Rebels was amazing. I don't know if you guys have seen Star Wars Rebels. So the first season of Star Wars Rebels, I didn't really like. It was really, really watered down. Star Wars Rebels Season 2 was better, and Season 3 was excellent. Primarily because of the fight scene between Darth Vader and Ahsoka. The Ahsoka scene and Darth Vader is amazing. She cuts off half of his mask, and she's like, "I will not fight you." And I've never seen an animated show have and bring together such tension in an intense scene between Ahsoka and Darth Vader. It was just brilliant. It was so well executed. Then you will die. That's literally what Darth Vader says, and then starts walking towards to kill his student that he raised. Because I used to hate Ahsoka as a character, but in Rebels, I definitely like her a lot more because she's kind of turned into a gray Jedi. So, have I read the Darth Vader comics? Yes, I have. I have them all. I'm currently reading the Darth Vader comics. I'm reading the Darth Vader comics. I have every issue. I'm reading the Mace Windu comics, and I'm reading the Star Wars comics. I read the Poe Dameron. I read the Chewbacca limited thing, and I'm reading the Darth Maul. And the Han Solo. Han Solo, I think, was only 6 issues. The Darth Maul is great. The Darth Maul comic is awesome. If you haven't seen it yet, get the subscription. Star Wars Darth Maul is really, really cool. And the Darth Vader. Darth Vader comics is phenomenal. There's a scene in, like, I think it was, like, the first few comic books that came out with Darth Vader, and he takes on an entire army of X-Wing and Rebels and just completely annihilates them in the comic book. Like, it's one of the coolest scenes in comics I haven't seen in a long time that matches up to that point. It was so cool. Who's Ahsoka? Ahsoka is Anakin's apprentice. Yes, Anakin did have an apprentice. Whew. Man, I've been talking. How long have I been streaming? Have I really been streaming for 52 minutes? Holy crap. I've been talking a long time. I normally don't talk this much on a live stream. Normally just look at a chat and respond to things, but holy poo! Holy poo-hoo! How's the art style in the comic? You guys want to see? Actually, I'll be right back. Let me show you. Let me grab something. Alright, so right now I would recommend is, so one of the most recent issues. So they started on year 3 of Star Wars, right? I love cover art. Look at this. Look at this comic book. Look at that. Is that not cool? Is that not some of the coolest comic cover you've seen on Star Wars? Look at that. I love cover art. This is number 8. They started, I think, series 2 of Star Wars. So I think there's up to 24 Darth Vader comics, and they started off on the new year with starting back at 0. But like that is beautiful cover art. I love it so much. Let's see. See if I can actually Star Wars. You know, I think the art's good. Kind of hard to show a comic in here, but yeah, I like it. It's cool cover art. And then this was another most recent cover art of, this is the actual Star Wars series that's ongoing right now. Right here. Fairly cool. Let's see. Now, one thing I hate about comics is I hate their ads in comics. Oh, there's Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher, man. Han Solo. Ah, there's Luke. Luke Skywalker. And then the other one I've been reading is... Say what? Say what? Say what? Samuel L. Jackson, yo! It's a motherfucking Mace Windu! A Jedi of the Republic! I like the art on this one, too. It's kind of a... This is during General Grievous's reign. Pretty cool. But, yeah. Just show a little bit of that. But I would really, if you want to get into Star Wars comics, I'd recommend... That's actually canon. I would recommend reading the new series, because it is really good. It's very enjoyable. Do I read comics for the Knights of the Old Republic? I've read Knights of the Old Republic comic series. You mean issues 1 through 50? Then yes. I don't think they're ongoing anymore. They're not making those anymore. The Rose and Finn Canto Bite scene was so boring. I agree. Absolutely agree, Roland. Is Mace Windu as boring in the comics as he is in the prequels? Mace Windu is not boring in the comics. So if you want a really good Star Wars book, look up the Star Wars book Shatterpoint. Shatterpoint is a novel of Mace Windu. And it's one of the best novels. If you want to know more about Mace Windu and who he is and how badass he is, Shatterpoint. Read that book. Read that book. It is really, really good. I'm probably the only one who's actually read Shatterpoint that's even in here. Where can you buy or find comic books? Go to your local comic book store or go to Marvel and pick up. You can subscribe to these comics and have them sent directly in your mailbox. You know that, right? Yeah, Mace Windu in the Star Wars animated series, the cartoon, phenomenal. Comics, phenomenal. Books, phenomenal. Movies, not so much. Also, by the way, I need 2 more sponsors and I can add a new emoticon. If you guys want to sponsor the channel, you get some special perks and you get a new emoticon next to your name in chat so you stand out. Whew. Man, I've been talking like crazy, folks. Alright, what have I covered everything? I know there's more stuff in the Last Jedi that I could hammer on, but I feel like I've covered a lot of it in the last hour. Disney now has the rights to Deadpool. Yeah, let's talk about that. So I think that Disney owning Fox is scary to me. Primarily because Disney owns so much of film now, of the film industry.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
I have developed a massive love-hate relationship for Disney. I like a lot of the content they have put out as of late, but the Disney Channel tween shit, their desire for world conquest, and the amount of bore slaps TLJ final act gave me have made sour.
I 100% agree with you. Thank you so much for your $15 donation. Thank you. If you're donating, seriously, fucking thank you so fucking much. I really appreciate it because that stuff's being used for my tuition in school. And I hardly make any money off YouTube anymore, so. You know, I've actually been thinking about making a video showing people how much I've been making this entire year. It's less than 10 grand. So you go from making $45,000 a year, less than 10 grand. That's a big price cut. I'm still thinking about if I should do it or not because I can get in big trouble if I release my earnings, but at the same time, I honestly don't care either because I want to be transparent with people as much as I can. So I appreciate the donations, and I appreciate if you guys, any of you become sponsors and get those perks. Wonder if your dog thinks you're crazy. Like, who the fuck are you talking to? I'm over here. They're both asleep right now, so. Probably because I was up to like 4 a.m. last night talking really loud, so they didn't get any sleep, so now they're sleeping. The only good thing about The Last Jedi was Luke catching a goddamn fish. That was cool. I love seeing how he kind of like was his own person, how he's been surviving. That was pretty awesome. I agree. Do I like anything about The Last Jedi? I like Mark Hamill's performance as Luke. I don't like what they did with Luke as a character. I can understand him being an old curmudgeon, a bit bitter, but he was not any Luke I've ever known or ever seen anywhere in any comics. Not even the Luke that... Because Luke in the comics and stuff and books, Luke even goes to the dark side at one point. I don't know if you guys have read that story arc. It's pretty cool. And it's just, he's not the character that Luke has been ever. And I don't like it. But he's not the main reason I don't like the movie, okay? As I've explained for the past hour, I think I've given you quite enough reasons that just stack on top of each other why this movie's trash to me. If Deadpool becomes PG-13, I'm gonna riot. They're not... The CEO of Disney already said that they're not going to make it that. So I think you're fine, dude. You left the movie very sad and cold. I don't blame you, Saberfett. A lot of people. Look at the ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. Go to Rotten Tomatoes and Internet Movie Database. The reviews are coming in of normal people, not film critics, and they're hammering this movie. And they're not hammering it because they think it's a repeat of Empire Strikes Back. They're hammering it because there are problems with this movie. I don't know why it's so hard for people not to acknowledge that. I'm trying not to be a biased Star Wars fan who just loves everything Star Wars because it has the Star Wars logo. That's what I'm trying to do. And of course, people think that I'm doing it just to be an edgelord, just to hate on Star Wars. I have never, for the most part, ever hated on Star Wars before. I've only hated on what companies do with Star Wars. Okay? That's what I'm hating here, is what Disney's done with Star Wars, not necessarily Star Wars itself. People need to be able to differentiate that. Your friend lectured you on why The Last Jedi is a masterpiece? I definitely don't think it's a masterpiece. Leia pulled a Mary Poppins. Yeah, I haven't actually seen that comparison. She did. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all! You know what? You guys want to watch a video? Let's watch a video. I have a video pulled up here. Alright. Mark Hamill hates Star Wars The Last Jedi. Let's see what Mark Hamill has to say. Are you guys ready?
By Mark Hamill, who is walking away. Is there anything you haven't gotten to do in a Star Wars movie that you want to do? Musical number, maybe? Sing and dance?
There's something seriously wrong with you.
Is there anything that you want us to know going into The Last Jedi? Anything you want to tell the audience or the world about this one in comparison to the other ones?
It's the longest one. It doesn't matter.
Luke Skywalker is here, and Amy's here with me.
Yes, we
miss
have.
you, stranger.
Thank you, miss you too. What was your initial reaction when you found out you were returning just for one scene?
When I read 7, I said, I love everybody's part except mine. And on this one, it was similar in the sense that I said to Ryan, I'm so surprised how you see Luke.
These films now are being made by children.
But how is it for him, for your kids to grow up with their dad as Luke Skywalker?
But he's like, he likes David Cronenberg films better.
What's the biggest difference from
Good movie taste.
when we last saw Luke in the end of Return of the Jedi to when we meet him now in The Last Jedi?
Who is this guy?
It's only a movie. And if you think you're going to go into the movie and recapture your childhood, you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Yeah, he's right about that.
There's been a lot of stuff like the books video games that have added to Luke's journey
Yeah.
because he's been looking for these Jedi artifacts and
Yeah.
things. How much does that play into your performance? How much are you paying attention to this new canon stuff?
You'll see.
Are you bummed that Luke didn't get sort of a reunion with Han Solo?
Absolutely. In fact, when I was reading it, I thought, if Leia's trying to mentally contact me and she's not successful, she'll rush to his aid. She'll get close to him and then get into some dire situation, and that's when I show up for a big yay, save her life. Then we rush to Han and are in the same position that Rey and Finn and Chewie are. Too late to save him, but witnesses. And I say, because it would carry so much emotional resonance into the next film. For us, his wife, his best friend.
Oh, yes, Daddy.
Do you still have any minds about people feeling Misa is secretly Sith Lord?
Jar Jar Binks, thank you so much for the $10 donation. Jar Jar, kill yourself, you stupid faggot.
To witness, instead of two characters that've known him, what, 20 minutes? Well, Chewie.
So we signed on, and you know, like I say, I didn't know it was going to be bought by Disney, because this was summer of 2012. Then they announced that Disney had bought Lucasfilm around Halloween, which would be October 30th. You know, we didn't know who the director was going to be, and then they announced J.J. Abrams, and it all came out. It was all very, very exciting, and I hope people are happy. It seems like, because in Hollywood, remember, kids, it's not important if it's of high quality, only if it makes money.
Oh my god!
So
he's so right, dude. Holy shit! Look, I haven't seen this. I gotta give this a thumbs up. I haven't seen this video. It popped up in my recommended feed. That is so goddamn true. Let's listen to that again. The great Mark Hamill said this.
Only if it makes money. Only important if it's happy. It seems like, because in Hollywood, remember, kids, it's not important if it's of high quality, only if it makes money. So because The Force Awakens made a lot of money, I can't be, it's not ergo, it's good. And oh my God, I just realized this is all on film. Because I shouldn't have gotten that specific.
I mean,
Look, Mark Hamill's been pretty blunt and open and transparent about stuff. He is right. He is right.
if I leaked something, they'd cut off my head and throw it right in my face. People are still mad that the Wookiee didn't get a medal.
The Jedi must end.
It's time for the Jedi to end.
Did your vision and Ryan's vision, did it coincide with the way that Luke ends up in this film that you thought it would all these years later?
No.
No, not at all.
How much of Luke Skywalker did you discuss with Colin Trevorrow?
Dude, I'm so glad Colin Trevor fuckface dipshit did not involve in Star Wars. He directed Jurassic World. Didn't he direct Jurassic World? I hate Jurassic World! Ugh! Hate Jurassic World. I'm gonna hate the new movie. Jurassic is nothing but a money-making shit scheme, little fucking horrible, stupid shit franchise that's an insult to everything the original was. Sorry, that was separate.
I had discussions with Colin, and I was very excited because we were on the same page in terms of where we wanted to go and how we wanted to see Luke in a way we've never seen him, even in this current version. But I don't know what went on. I don't want to know because there's no upside to that story. I mean, I like all those people, and I like Kathy, and I like Lawrence Kasdan, and all the people that were involved in that decision. But sometimes ignorance is bliss, and they don't tell me anything. Why do I always watch the ocean? I'm guarding against the greatest enemy of civilization, Gungans. If they show up, I'll kill them all. What are Gungans?
Jar Jar Binks is raised.
Oh, okay. That's even funnier now. There'll be no more wars.
That is funny.
We'll end world famine. Hey, baby.
Right.
Love is all you need. And that, we failed. And now the world is worse than it's ever been. Thought Watergate was bad? That was just two parties. Now it's a political entity with a hostile foreign government. And that we've been in perpetual war. I thought, well, at least after Vietnam, we'll never get into another pointless war that will, with no clear objective. We've been in perpetual war for what, 17, 18 years now?
And I'm loving every minute of it. Except for now, of course.
Oh. Well, that definitely gives me a little more perspective than I thought. I hadn't seen or heard some of that stuff before. Star Wars theory. What's this thing? No, oh, that's not. This is old. I wonder. Actually, you know what? Let's go to Star Wars theory. Let's just take a look at this really quick. I want to see Last Jedi ending fully explained. You guys want to watch one of these videos? The Last Jedi ending fully explained. Spoilers. So I'm running out of stuff to talk about, and I'm thinking about ending the stream. You could just watch this if you wanted. Watch it with me. You guys want to watch it? Look at the chat right now. Not really. Not really. Sure, sure. Oh, you saw the video? You guys have seen the video already? I haven't seen it. Ah, whatever. Let's just start it. Let's see this disgrace.
What is going on, everyone? It is 4:30 in the morning, and I just got out of the theater about a few hours ago now, and I've been writing and thinking and just kind of sitting here contemplating everything that I just saw in The Last Jedi. Where do I begin? There's just so much that I want to talk about, and I'll start by saying I know why many people hated the film, and why many others loved it. There's so much to it, and if you think anything was at all answered in this film, then go watch it again and question it all. Don't believe anything that the characters say or reveal. While The Last Jedi is a great film, and I'll make many more videos about it and what I liked, there are many things I didn't. So for those of you who don't know my personality too well by now, I won't be bowing down to it fully. I will be giving you all my uncensored, unbiased opinions and thoughts about it all. However, that will be in another video. That said, I did enjoy the film. I will make tons of videos discussing everything in due time, and I think it's best if we start with the first Last Jedi analysis video by discussing the end. If that even made sense. This video will focus primarily on Luke Skywalker and leading up to the ending scenes of the film. So let's get right to it, shall we?
Oh, Mark Hamill only signed up because he thought he would be making Lucas's new trilogy, not Disney Wars. That is true. That's from what I heard about that. Because I know George Lucas already had another trilogy planned, and from what I understand from Lucas' vision of Star Wars, it was gonna follow EU in a way in terms of like the family lineage. So you would have Anakin Solo, you'd have Jaina Solo, and you'd have Ben Solo. So like 3 of the Solos, right? They were gonna stem into that from that, and I think that would have been amazing. But Disney went off their own route. And George Lucas even said that Episode 7 was completely different than how he envisioned the future of the trilogy. Now, whether or not you like George Lucas as a filmmaker, as a whatever director, I really want to know what Lucas was going to do with the trilogy. I wish he could leak it or something. I want to know. And the fact that Mark Hamill was on board with George Lucas with this next trilogy, that gives me confidence in where the next trilogy would have went. I don't think we would have gotten another prequel trilogy. I don't think that at all.
Where do we start? Well, spoiler warning once again. Let's begin with Crate, right at the ending scene here. As a child, I was enamored with a confident, cool, collected, and strong Luke Skywalker. So set in his ways as a Jedi, he couldn't be broken. He turned Vader back into Anakin, and that was who was a big hero of mine growing up. From the very first time I saw Star Wars when I was just 6 years old. That Luke doesn't exist in this film. He's different, old, jaded, afraid, and almost weak. It's a darker movie, and I understand that the hero must now be fallen so that he can rise once again, keeping you in anticipation so that you hope he returns the whole time you watch. However, once he does, well, you all know just what happens. Spoiler warning once again, he just dies. He transcends into the Force like Obi-Wan and Yoda, his robe billowing and floating into the horizon. The whole film leads up to his conquest, to return and show us what he's been doing all this time. Studying, training, becoming more powerful. Once we finally get to that point, to the end where we can see what he's been doing all this time and what he has to show for it, he shows up on Crate and gets blasted by an entire squad of ATM-6s, literally leaving a crater in the ground, and when the salt dust settles, he just walks forwards towards Kylo. You guys know me, I was extremely happy. I thought finally, someone did Luke Skywalker justice. Power that we've been waiting to see in The Last Jedi finally has been revealed. Boy, was I wrong. Once his former apprentice, Kylo, meets him on the field as everyone watches, he fights Kylo with a few simple dodges, not even a swing of his lightsaber, and it's over. 2 years of waiting for Luke since The Force Awakens, 2 years of hoping that he would return in full power, and seeing some unbelievable Force techniques. Heck, I mean, we even saw more Force powers in Battlefront 2 from Luke Skywalker. I can't even imagine what it feels like for the older audience who saw The Return of the Jedi in theaters. That's almost 40 years of waiting for Luke Skywalker to return on screen. As Kylo and Luke square off mid-battle, he looks to Kylo and says, "If you strike me down in anger, I will always be with you." This is when Kylo runs at him and slices him in half, turning around to find that Luke is just standing there, unharmed. Now, if it wasn't already a dead giveaway that something is up here, considering that the Skywalker lightsaber is hanging on his belt fully intact, after Kylo and Rey pulled it apart, then you can definitely think something is weird about this scene here. A lightsaber strike in half, just like Darth Maul got, but he's still standing there perfectly fine. Even Kylo thinks something is weird here, so he steps forward and prods his lightsaber through Luke's chest. It goes right through him, like it would go through a ghost. Luke has just set a Force illusion of himself, a projection, as he meditates on Ahch-To to send his image to another part of the galaxy, on Crate. Once we return to him after the fight, he falls back onto the stone where he was levitating above, extremely exhausted and drained. Getting back onto the rock and staring into the horizon as the twin suns illuminate the sky, and we're reminded of Tatooine, where it all began, where his eyes swell immensely with tears as if he saw someone within the clouds. Someone we could only imagine is Anakin, but we're left to our imaginations, or at least until Episode 9 is here. 2 years' time. Now, for those who don't understand what happened, he transcended into the Force and became a Force ghost, essentially.
Yeah.
Is he dead? Technically, yes. But that's like saying Obi-Wan was dead in The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. He was still a big part of Luke's training, psychological metamorphosis, and at the end of the day, he had an important bit of screen time. Now that Luke's story in Episode 8 is over, we can move on to the final scene. Rey moves boulders out of the way, leading a clear path for the remainder of the rebellion, and yes, they're called the Rebels once again, who enter the Falcon and leave, where we see Rey holding Anakin's split lightsaber as Leia and her conclude that they have everything they need right here. We then come to the final scene, where the child slaves of Canto Bight are telling the tales and legends of Luke Skywalker, where they are then scared off by one of, who I assume is their master. As they scurry along, one of the boys runs outside towards a broom. Going to grab it, he actually summons it with the Force as he sweeps the floor and then looks to the star-filled night sky. As he...
You know what? At this particular scene, at the very end, I thought he was going to get on his broom and fly away like E.T. I would have lost it if that... Did anybody feel the same way? When the little kid has a broom, I thought he was going to get on it and fly away. Like Lulu's delivery service. That's what I thought was going to happen. Thank God it didn't. I would have, oh my God, I would have rioted.
Sees a shooting star, or what we could believe is a ship traveling in hyperspace. Or perhaps, could it even be Luke Skywalker, now part of the Force, watching over the galaxy? Either way, it's a very mystical moment as he raises the end of the broom, casting a reflection in the night sky from the moon and lights, symbolizing the rise of a new order of Force-sensitive children in the galaxy. This brings us to the new Vader comics, where Jocasta Nu has a data file revealing the remaining Force-sensitive children in the galaxy. And funny enough, this ties in perfectly to just what I suspected it would. Where does this leave Star Wars? I really don't know, and maybe that's a good thing. Maybe now there are so many doors that can be opened without relying on the Skywalker timeline. My problem with it, and there are many, is that there could have been so much more done if Luke was still around and showed his powers. I felt that was just a rushed ending without any explanation, and I really hope that they'll fix that when we go into Episode 9. However, I am still hopeful and positive that we will see Luke Skywalker again. That was the end of the film, my friends. I won't go into what I thought about everything in this movie.
Okay, that was kind of a dumb video. I thought he was gonna go into more detail, but that was not what I expected. Sorry. I thought he was gonna go into a lot more detail than that. So, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It would be, so if in the comics they have the file with the last sensitive children and everything like that, I wonder what, Rey's gonna figure out that Kylo's gonna hunt, what, the children and try to kill all the children that are Force sensitive or something? Rey is a Mary Sue. I agree. I agree that Rey is a Mary Sue. I defended Episode 7 and said that she was never a Mary Sue, and I stand by that in Episode 7, but with the current state of Episode 8 and Yoda bragging about Rey being ready, I agree. I 100% agree that she is a Mary Sue. That's not, I don't like saying that, but it's just the reality of the situation. Please keep streaming. I don't have much else to say, guys. I mean, Rep, you look drained. You're losing your Twitter account and see a heap of trash that's been hard. I'm following with a lack of sleep because I'm super stressed for my test tomorrow, for my Washington State test. And I've been talking for an hour and 20 minutes, almost non-stop, up until this video that we just watched. Talking this long takes a lot out of you. I don't know if people know that. Like, playing games is different. Talk about net neutrality. Dude, there's not much to talk about with that. Companies should not be able to dictate what I do on the internet, and I shouldn't be able to be controlled my data rates and data speeds and everything by, that's no. Repsion, don't say she's a Mary Sue. That's sexist, according to Daisy Ridley. Did she actually say that? Did Daisy Ridley say that it's sexist to say that she's a Mary Sue? I don't keep up to date with her. Oh, I didn't hear that. Was that recent? Huh. Yeah, I did not hear that, huh? That's interesting to me. She did the interview a while ago. Yeah, I hadn't seen that, so huh. That just ugh. Don't tell me that I'm a Mary Sue. I'm owned by Disney. Disney's always about super well-known popular tropes. I think the strongest statement in this whole video that I've done, though, is when Mark Hamill didn't know that he was being recorded, and he said it's not about the quality of the movie, it's about money. You guys have any questions here before I head off and do my thing? I'm tired. I'm probably gonna go take a nap. I need 2 more sponsors and I can add another emoticon, guys. If you guys want to become a sponsor of the channel, I'll love you forever. What movie is coming out relatively soon by Del Toro? It's the... what's the movie called? It's not The Shape of Water. That's what it's called, The Shape of Water. Is that out yet? Oh, it's out? The Shape of Water's out already. Came out December 8th. I need to go see that movie. I need to go see The Shape of Water. I need to see that movie and review that movie because this looks phenomenal. The Shape of Water. It looks fantastic. Have anybody of you guys seen that movie yet? Review Wonder? I don't know what Wonder is. Let's go to Rotten Tomatoes right now. Really quick here. Let's just check. Let's just check what is happening, okay? Alright, we got... That was The Last Jedi. Oh my, look at that. Dude, this was 90% yesterday. 90%, and now it's 56. Ha 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 ha. Wonder? What's Wonder about? Oh! I saw this. I'd like to see this movie. I'd definitely like to see this movie. Wonder. Coco. Stream's laggy as shit. It shouldn't be lagging, dude. My stream should not be lagging. I'm not getting any lag on my end from what I'm... Justice League, 40%. Really? 80% people like to see... That's the crazy thing about reviews. Reviews are so subjective. That's crazy to me. I thought Justice League was terrible. I mean, it was fun to watch, but that's about it. I couldn't watch that shit. Alright, guys. I think I'm gonna end off. Go do my thing. I do have a delay on my streams, yes. It's supposedly, I think it's like 5 or 10 seconds delayed, so. I just want to thank you guys for watching me the last hour and a half. This will be up on my main channel within probably like an hour or two. If you guys want, become a sponsor. It's universal on my channel. Get a cool emoticon, you get special Discord perks, and so on and so forth. And you get my videos before they're actually released on my channel, so. Anyways, folks, I will see you guys probably this Sunday or Monday. I'll be making another video, so until then, I'll catch you guys later, and have a great rest of your Friday, guys. And may the Force be with you. Except in Episode 8. Peace out, Girl Scouts!